Hi. Is anyone out there? Right. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Paul Dacres. And the reason you don't know me is because there's been a media blackout on what I'm about to tell you. In 1984, Huntingdonshire District Council decided they wanted to start charging a trading licence for outside vending, burger vans, so on and so forth. To do this legally, they had to obtain the permission of the chief constable of the time and also the highways manager of the time. Now, the highways manager said that in essence wasn't a bad idea, gave them what's called positive indication. He did not say yes. He also said he did not want the district council charging randomly across the board, which they then proceeded to do. They, at no point did they ever obtain any permission from any police officer, let alone the chief constable. In fact, there's no record of any permission even being asked for. So they've broken the law. It's theft from the public purse, it's misconduct in public office. And on top of this, none of the money can be found. The auditor, district auditor, PricewaterhouseCoopers, in fact, put a director in to say that police permission was not required. And despite my recently sending him the proof that it is, he refuses to change his story, he refuses to have the council investigated. Previously, a separate auditor was working on the accounts from PricewaterhouseCoopers and said he wanted to see a column in the council's accounts which said trading licence money. That was never forthcoming after the director, Kieran McLaughlin, stepped in and then proceeded to brush the whole thing under the carpet. Government Ombudsman didn't do much, but then what's new? So eventually this went to the police. I've had various stories from the police as to why they won't investigate. One is too many resources, another is it's not in the public interest, no crime has been committed, except for the fact I have letters from council officers and various people, the content of which is now proved to be lies, so it's quite clearly fraud. As I say, we could be looking at over £1 million a year which has vanished from public funds. The head councillor at the time, Ian Bates, was informed when I found out that the council were not issuing receipts for money paid from taxpayers. He said, "Don't disturb the status quo." As at that point, I believe the story went straight to Whitehall and was henceforth covered up. The local MP said it wasn't his job to investigate missing taxpayers' money, so I don't know what his job is, really, except taking home £100,000 a year of taxpayers' money himself. It's nice work if you can get it. And after sending the chief constable about 100 emails, even phoning his office one day, he then informed the police authority that he'd never heard of me. The police authority were quite happy with that explanation and said that no crime had been committed. The IPCC, well, we all know they're bought and paid for. But again, basically no crime had been committed, or the case had run out of time, because they're allowed to do that after 52 weeks, which is quite handy for them because it takes them 26 weeks to reply to one email. So of course all they have to do is reply to 2 emails and, oh look, we're out of time, even though nothing has actually been investigated. To this day, which is June the 14th, I think, 2013, and for the 4 years I've been asking the council to provide proof they can charge for a trading licence. The proof has never been forthcoming, the money has never been found. One particular lay-by in St Ives has never been resurfaced. in nearly 30 years. This was since 1984, since they started charging money. There's been a few crashes down there because the surface is very bad, obviously. Again, police or council, not interested. Last year, I thought I'd withhold my council tax. And of course they were going to send me to jail for a sum of about £900, I think, which is very big of them, considering how much money they've stolen. So initially the bailiffs were sent in. Now this is Newlyn bailiffs, Newlyn, not to be confused with firms of similar names, as Matt Allwright would say. They broke the law on about 5 occasions, including posting a walking possession order through my door when I wasn't in, which was therefore unsigned, and they were actually had put the neighbour's car down as a collateral for my council tax. So they were going to steal the neighbour's car, really, because I wasn't here, so they obviously hadn't spoken to me, so my car wasn't here. Informed the police and the council. They did nothing. I sent my army service medals back to the Queen because, quite frankly, I'm disgusted at the officials in this country. I can only say there's more criminals in Cambridgeshire Police and Huntingdon Council than there probably are running around Cambridge right now. And again, to this moment in time, well, the Police Crime Commissioner is now investigating. So he sends me a letter every month saying he's still investigating. I've asked to see evidence of this investigation and any results he might have come up with. He's refused. He refuses to answer my emails. And as I say, money's never been accounted for, no proof that the council can charge has it ever been supplied. And yet, they are still charging traders. The licensing officer at HDC, who took over when the old one left, has resigned because I stated that until she could provide proof of where the money had gone and that they could charge, I would raise an objection to them raising Hackney carriage fees. She resigned a week later. The previous licensing officer, Greg Peck, favours bully boy tactics, although he's now retired. But put quite simply, himself, Roy Reeves and David Monks knew fine well that this money was being taken illegally, and again the police still aren't interested. And that, I'm sorry to say, is about the strength of this country right now. I'm in no doubt that David Cameron is in full knowledge of this situation. I have on occasion in the last 2 years had good reason, I believe, to fear for my life and my liberty. And I think the whole scheme initially was set up by John Major in the early 80s when he was a politician here. And presumably went on, whilst he was also Prime Minister. I do believe the money that's been taken has gone straight into Tory funds. So there you go. Think very carefully before you make another donation to the Tory party, because they don't need it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, because as I said, there's been a media blackout, so it's the only way I can get it out, really, except my limited audience on Facebook, my political page, Hard Harry, Hard On, which has about 120 members. So I'm really trying to reach a wider audience. So if you stayed awake this long, thank you for your time. And if you feel you can do anything about this and help me with this situation, please be in touch. I'm on Facebook and on Twitter, @PaulDakers1. Because someone should be paying for this. Quite a lot of people should be paying for this. but it seems that they only enforce the law when it suits them.